Hey, have you ever wondered whether the placebo effect has an impact on success? It's widely known that the placebo effect definitely has an impact in things like healthcare trials, right? This is all purely anecdotal, but I think, placebos have been trialed in sort of drug trials for a long time now. And I remember reading about a particular drug trial in something like 1996. I think it was for trevericane, like a painkiller. And they got like, I don't know, 55, 56 people in a room. And this trevericane was nothing but basically just sugar or some kind of mixture which didn't have any painkilling effect at all. And they'd got two fingers and they put this treatment on one finger. And then what they did is they squoze with like a clamp or pliers, like applied some pressure onto the finger, both fingers, one with the treatment, one without. And the patients reported that the one that had the treatment felt less pain, even though there was no painkiller in it, in this mixture. It was a fake. And doctors have been using the placebo effect, I think I read, from like as early as the 1700s to mean like a fake drug, to help people. Basically, it comes down to a belief, basically, right? Which, think about our beliefs. What are they? Well, our identity is formed from our beliefs. So if you think about how powerful our belief system is, this is getting into the realms of epigenetics, which I remember reading a book a few years ago. One of the early pioneers of epigenetics was a guy called Bruce Lipton, who was a stem cell researcher, and he found that he was developing stem cells, and depending on the environment that he put these stem cells into, that was like changing the humidity, the amount of light, the temperature, various factors would have a profound effect on what those stem cells developed into, right? And he realized that basically we're a product of our environment. Now, another guy, I watch a lot of his stuff, Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza, covers this a lot in terms of how our minds and our belief systems and what we hold true about the world really impact us, both in our mental capacity, but also in terms of our physiology. I mean, Bruce Lipton, in his work, I remember reading him talking about people literally changing the colour of their eyes, like the whole physiology. Some of this might be hard to believe, but the mental side of your belief systems and what you hold true about the world, which is your identity, is super important, right, in terms of your success, because the identity that you give yourself, pretty much your belief systems defines how your life will be. We can literally manifest our own reality. And what it tends to do, the beliefs that you hold about yourself tend to impact your behaviours with others, and basically impact what you do on a day-to-day basis, your habits. And this is really important. So if you think about, I'll give you some examples now of the issues that this can have in terms of, on the mental side, things like negative self-talk, negative self-beliefs, the impact that can have on your life. We've all heard of hypochondria, right? These are the people, hypochondriacs, that constantly believe, it's like a mental issue where they constantly believe that they're ill, and they never stop visiting the doctors or ringing up the doctors. And this is a mindset problem. There is no physical problem there, but they actually end up manifesting some illnesses just in the way that if you get stressed, Now, stress is not all bad. I think stress is a good test, so I wouldn't completely shit on stress, because it can be very good to motivate us, that kind of thing. But living in a constant state of, well, I wouldn't say stress, maybe a constant state of anxiety is not very good for you, because it raises what's called your P cells, and being in that constant state will actually sort of manifest diseases. You can start getting all sorts of problems, and because once you have raised P cells, it opens up your sort of immune system to start getting ill and things like that. Now, I'm not a doctor or anything like this, right? I've just read about this stuff. But yeah, if you're living in a constant state of anxiety, you're literally about to shorten your life. So back on topic though, with the placebo effect, yeah, I definitely believe that it has a huge important role to play in your success. Just as Neville Goddard, a lot of his work If you know Neville Goddard is one of the old school law of attraction gurus. A lot of his work talks about starting with the belief that you've already got the success, right? And it's like already believing you've got what you want to manifest, right? Now, the law of manifestation goes something like this. You know, you manifest who you are, not what you want. And this is why in both those cases, in what Neville Goddard says and the law of manifestation, you have to become that person first. And we do that through identity, right? So you create an identity for yourself and then you start living according to that identity. And this is really powerful because think about it, having that positive self-talk will more likely get you the results that you want. And believing that you already have that success, that means like almost like thinking with the end in mind. So if you're wanting to become successful in a, I don't know, particular sport, this is, you know, professional sports people, they actually believe that they can do that. They believe that they are that person before going into a cup final, right? That team believes that they're going to win before they go in. And that gives them more or less, more chance. You know, if they really believe that they've got the upper hand on the other team, chances are they will do that because it's mindset. We've all seen this with, like, you know, I don't really follow football that much, but, you know, whenever I've watched a football match, let's say international, I watch international games with England, right? If you look at the England players, they're all very good players, right? But a lot of the time, why do they often lose a game? It's usually a mental issue, right? It's not their physical ability. It's how that team holds themselves together mentally on that playing field that determines more or less whether they're likely to get the win or not. And it's same with a lot of sports, you know. My dad was a semi-professional darts player, right, in his day, and he used to win. This was before Sky Sports. If he were playing today, he'd be rolling in it, you know what I mean? He'd be getting all the big TV money. So he used to win competitions, right, and win money. The one thing that held my dad there, it wasn't just the ability to chuck a dart, because everyone can learn that ability. When you're up on stage with a big crowd behind you, it's your nerves and your mindset. It's not losing your head to the pressure. It's not your ability. Can I chuck this dart in the bullseye? It's mindset. I did a video when I was out in Krakow called The Two Things That All Successful People Do. They always do the things that other people don't. So they'll do what the 95% won't, the hard things. And the second thing is they never use negative self-talk when referring to themselves. So it's always positive self-talk. And that's why I call it state management. You know, if I look in the journal here now at the front in the areas, in terms of mindset, you've got master mental models, motivation, focus, and state management. That state management is that what Tony Robbins calls priming. So every day when you wake up, that's why I journal in the morning, because I'm setting positive intentions for my day. I'm writing down the 3 things that I want to do that day, but I'm also putting in a positive affirmation or 2 about myself. And it's like a positive self-belief that confirms my identity. So in the start of the journal, I've got an identity. I've got a set of goals that feed into that identity, and then I'm working towards it each day. And every day, that 5 minutes that I spend in the morning filling out my journal is state management. It's preparation. It's making sure I live my day with intent and I'm in the right mindset. I've primed my state. It's super important, you know. So whenever I see someone that's using negative self-talk, and I was having a chat early this morning with my friend about this, who said something on the phone. I was like, whoa, you got to stop doing that, you know. Got to stop using that negative language, because it just doesn't help you, you know. You should be using positive language and using those affirmations and that identity. It's like visualizing your own success. Back to what Neville Goddard said, which is, you know, start with the belief in mind that you've already got the success. That's a huge component here of the placebo effect, to make sure you're in that mindset. You know, you can literally manifest your own reality just by believing it. A little thing that I do, right, I don't know what you think about this. Look what I've got in my pocket here, right? That is a small piece of citrine crystal. Citrine crystal. I carry it around with me. The reason being is citrine is a crystal for abundance and success. And if you read about it, one of the places that you can, I've got a big chunk of it in my kitchen, and you leave it on the southwest corner. So I've got it just right on a windowsill, right in the southwest corner. The whole thing there is a placebo effect. I carry that around in my pocket. Like I've had that one in my kitchen since last year. It was given to me as a gift on my birthday. And I loved it. It's like, you know, does it really work? I mean, the placebo effect alone is worth it, I'll tell you now. And just turn round here, let me just show you. I've got some more over there. I've got like a geode over there, geode quartz and things like that. Right, so I've got a few crystals, and I've also got them in different rooms of the house. And that is one element of placebo effects. I walk around with this thing in my pocket. You can buy them online, you know, just a little chunk like that. Choose your crystal. And I do believe that that is actually helping me, you know, if it's, let's put it this way, if it's giving me 40% of the benefits that I need in terms of manifesting the success, then it's worth doing and putting in my pocket. That self-belief there, it reinforces it, just even knowing that it's there. You know, I do other little things. I don't know whether you've got little routines that you do, like little people have routines of luck and things that help them. And I definitely believe that, because you want to be sure inside your mind that you're doing the right thing. But of course, just to clarify, you know, just believing that you're going to get successful alone is not going to get you there. You also have to back it up with the right rituals, routines and habits daily. And this is why, you know, having a habit tracker, what you do on a day, your habits basically on a day-to-day basis confirm your identity. So you need to make sure your daily actions, your small actions, are in alignment with your identity. It takes me back to a conversation that I had with Scott when he was my coach. And I was asking him about getting bigger IT contracts, and he explained that it was an identity problem. I was saying at the time, I can only get projects of this size, but I want these massive enterprise projects. He basically asked me, he said, have you got the skills to do them? And I was like, well, yeah, I've never had any doubt in my skills and abilities in my industry. He said, right, okay, so you could do the job. Yes, right, well, what's stopping you then? Right, it's an identity problem. You don't believe somehow that you're worthy of getting those bigger contracts. And I think this was true, and spent a bit of time working on that identity. And he said, basically, you've got to become, what does that successful person that gets those contracts do on a day-to-day basis? How would they behave? How would they show up? What actions would they take? And it's literally that, you form that identity. So I formed that about myself, and then just basically started behaving in accordance with it. That meant getting up early, eating really healthily, working out every day, or as many days as I could based on my schedule. Starting the day with intent, so writing down what are the top 3 things that I need to do each day. And slowly over time, that identity become confirmed, and I started working towards it bit by bit. And that became a reality for me. I've got a good quote in the journal here, right? There's a great quote. I think it's near the, right, here we go. About it, just before the identity section, there's a quote from Jim Quick from the book Limitless. You have limitless identities. Once you get to the next level, there is another level and another level. And this is the great thing about identity shifting. If you look at the identity evolution cycle, which is there, your identity, right, feeds your daily habits through your projects. So you've got like your identity, then you've got your goals or your projects, and then your daily habits. That trickles down into what do you do on a day-to-day basis. And then that eventually confirms your identity. So if your daily habits, what you do on a day-to-day basis, are in alignment with that identity that you set for yourself, it will become confirmed. You know, if you create an identity for yourself, which is like a belief, right? The way to truly believe it and manifest your own, that reality, is to live in accordance with it in your daily rituals, routines and habits. If what you do on a day-to-day basis is not in alignment with that identity, then it won't confirm it, it will confirm something else. You are the sum of your habits that you do on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, my view is the placebo effect is definitely worth it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and see you all next time.